Divorce, job loss, caring for aging parents, your kids need help with student loans, a major home repair that wipes out your savings. If you've ever had a financial plan completely derailed by life and then felt like it was somehow your fault for not being prepared enough, this video is for you. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, if I was smarter with money, I would have seen this coming. If I was better at planning, I wouldn't be starting over again at 45. I'm Toyin, and I want to tell you something important. When life happens to your money plans, it's not a personal failure. It's not because you weren't good enough at budgeting, or didn't save enough, or made poor choices. It's because we live in a world that expects individuals, especially women, to somehow be financially bulletproof against every possible life event. And that's not just unrealistic, it's impossible. Today, we're talking about why good people face financial challenges and why it's time to stop blaming yourself for being human. The myth of financial preparation. Let's start with something the financial industry often tells us, that if you just plan well enough, save enough, and make smart enough decisions, you can protect yourself from any financial emergency. But here's the thing, life doesn't work that way. You can have 6 months of expenses saved and still get wiped out by a major health issue. You can have a solid career plan and still lose your job in a recession. You can make smart money choices for decades and still face financial crisis because of a divorce or a family emergency. The advice industry sometimes makes the situation sound rare and avoidable, but statistics tell a different story. About 40% of marriages end in divorce in Canada. Economic recessions happen roughly every 8 to 10 years. 28% of Canadian adults are caring for aging family members. Unexpected home repairs average $3,000 to $5,000 annually for homeowners. Job loss affects approximately 6 to 9% of the workforce annually. These aren't rare exceptions. These are normal life events that happen to millions of people, good people, smart people, people who did everything right. And here's what we don't often hear. Even if you do everything perfectly, life can still knock you off course. Because perfect planning assumes a predictable world, and the world isn't always predictable. The invisible financial burdens women carry. Here's something we need to talk about. Women face systemic barriers and invisible burdens that make financial security harder, no matter how smart or prepared we are. The wage gap is real and compounds over time. Canadian women still earn about 89 cents for every dollar men earn. Over a career, that adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars less to save and invest. You can't budget your way out of earning less money. But it's not just the wage gap. Women are more likely to work part time, take contract positions without benefits, or work in lower paying sectors like education and healthcare. These are often the only options available when you're balancing work with family responsibilities. Career interruptions are expected, not supported. Women are still expected to be the primary caregivers. We take time off when kids are born, when parents get sick, when family needs help. Each interruption sets us back financially, but society treats it like a personal choice rather than a structural reality. The average woman takes 11 years out of the workforce for caregiving responsibilities. That's 11 years of lost income, lost retirement contributions, lost career advancement. And when we return to work, we often face the motherhood penalty, lower wages, and fewer opportunities. We live longer but save less. Women live about 4 years longer than men on average, which means we need more retirement savings. But because of lower wages and career interruptions, we typically have less saved. The math doesn't work in our favor. Statistics Canada shows that women over 65 have median incomes that are 25% lower than men's. This isn't because women are bad with money. It's because the system works differently for us. Emotional labor has no paycheck. We manage family finances, healthcare options, coordinate care for aging parents, help adult children navigate financial decisions. We're the ones who remember birthdays, plan family gatherings, manage household schedules, and keep track of everyone's needs. This unpaid work takes time and energy that could be going toward our own financial goals. But it's invisible labor that society expects us to do for free. The pink tax is real. Everything from razors to dry cleaning costs more for women. We're expected to spend more on appearance, clothing, and personal care. These aren't vanity expenses, they're often professional requirements. These aren't personal feelings. They're structural realities that affect millions of women. The shame spiral that keeps us stuck. Here's what happens when life derails our financial plans. We blame ourselves. I should have saved more. I should have seen this coming. I should have been more prepared. Other people manage to handle these things. Why can't I? But this shame doesn't help us move forward. It keeps us stuck, paralyzed by the feeling that we've somehow failed at being adults. I see this pattern everywhere. Women who are brilliant, capable, hardworking, but who feel like financial failures because unexpected life events knocked them off course. The shame is so deep that we often don't even talk about our financial struggles. We suffer in silence, convinced that everyone else has it figured out while we're failing. But here's the truth: most people are struggling financially. Most people have been knocked off course by life events. Most people are just better at hiding it. Let me be clear: needing to start over financially doesn't mean you're bad with money. It means you're human. And human life is unpredictable and expensive when emergency funds aren't enough. The standard advice is to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved for emergencies. But what happens when the emergency lasts longer than 6 months? What happens when you lose your job and it takes 8 months to find another one? What happens when your aging parents need care that costs more than your entire salary? What happens when your furnace dies in January and needs to be replaced immediately, followed by a roof leak in March? Emergency funds are helpful for car repairs and appliance replacements. They're not designed for life-changing events that fundamentally alter your financial situation. And here's the reality: most people can barely scrape together 3 months of expenses, let alone enough to handle a major life crisis. According to Statistics Canada, nearly half of Canadians are $200 or less away from not being able to meet their monthly obligations. This isn't because people are irresponsible. It's because life is expensive and wages haven't kept up with the cost of living. Housing costs have skyrocketed. Childcare is unaffordable. Healthcare costs are rising. Education is more expensive than ever. The emergency fund advice assumes you have extra money after paying for basic necessities. But for many people, there is no extra money. Every dollar is already spoken for. Why it's not your fault? The system has changed. When financial crisis hits, it's natural to look for someone to blame. And unfortunately, we usually blame ourselves. But consider this: if millions of people are facing the same financial challenges, maybe the problem isn't individual failure. Maybe the problem is that we've created economic systems that expects individuals to handle massive risks that used to be shared by communities, employers, and governments. The social safety net has shrunk. Your grandparents' generation had pension plans, affordable housing, cheaper healthcare, and stronger social safety nets. They could often support a family on one income and still save for retirement. You're expected to manage your own retirement savings, handle skyrocketing housing costs, navigate expensive healthcare options, and do it all while earning wages that haven't kept up with inflation. The gig economy offers less security. More and more people are working contract jobs, freelance positions, or multiple part time jobs. This might offer flexibility, but it also means no benefits, no paid sick leave, no job security, and irregular income. You're supposed to save for retirement when you don't know how much you earn next month. You're supposed to plan for the future when your present is completely unpredictable. The cost of living has exploded. Housing costs have increased far faster than wages. In many Canadian cities, even high earners struggle to afford homes. Rent takes up 40 to 50% of people's income instead of the recommended 30%. When housing costs eats up most of your income, there's nothing left to save. But instead of acknowledging that housing has become unaffordable, we often blame individuals for not saving enough. It's not that you're worse with money than previous generations, it's that the game has gotten much harder. How to move forward without the shame. Step one, separate your worth from your net worth. Your value as a person has nothing to do with your bank account balance. You are not your credit score. Your worth isn't measured by your investment portfolio. You are valuable because you exist, because you contribute to the world, because you care for others, because you're trying your best in difficult circumstances. Step two, acknowledging what you've survived. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, acknowledge what you've handled. You survived a divorce. You got through a job loss. You managed a family crisis. You kept going when things were hard. This takes incredible strength and resourcefulness. That's not failure, that's resilience. Step three, start from where you are, not where you think you should be. You can't change what happened. You can only decide what to do next. Your new financial plan starts from your current reality, not from where you would have been if life hadn't happened. This means being honest about your situation without judgment. It means making plans based on your actual income, your actual expenses, and your actual responsibilities, not some idealized version of your life. Step four, build for your real life, not perfect life. Plan for the life you actually have with the responsibilities and challenges that are real for you. Don't try to follow financial advice designed for people with different circumstances. If you're caring for aging parents, factor that into your plan. If you're supporting adult children, acknowledge that reality. If you're dealing with health issues, plan accordingly. Step five, focus on progress, not perfection. Any forward movement is good movement. Saving $50 a month is better than saving nothing. Paying down debt slowly is better than not paying it down at all. Small steps count. Consistent action matters more than perfect execution. Building resilience for the next challenge. Because here's the reality, life will probably happen to your money plans again. That's not pessimism, it's preparation. But resilience isn't about having enough money to handle every possible crisis. Resilience is about being able to adapt, to start over, to keep moving forward, even when things don't go according to plan. It's about building financial flexibility rather than just financial security. It's about having multiple sources of income, diverse skills, strong relationships, and the confidence that you can handle whatever comes next. Resilience is about knowing that even if you get knocked down again, you have the strength to get back up. When life happens to your money plans, it's not your fault. It's not because you weren't smart enough or prepared enough or disciplined enough. It's because life is unpredictable and expensive, and our economic system expects individuals to handle risks that are actually too big for any one person to manage alone. The shame you feel about your financial situation, it's not helping you move forward. It's keeping you stuck in a place where you can't see your own strength or your real options. You are not a financial failure. You are a person who has faced real challenges and survived them. And that strength, that resilience, that's exactly what you need to build the financial future you deserve. Your financial journey isn't about being perfect. It's about being human and adapting and keeping going even when things get hard. If you're ready to release the shame and start building financial resilience for your real life, download my free Your Gentle Guide to Financial Self-Compassion below this video. It includes exercises to help you separate your worth from your net worth, plus practical steps to rebuild your confidence and start moving forward. Because your financial journey isn't about being perfect, it's about being resilient, and you're stronger than you know. See you in the next video.